Hey, what's going on, folks? My name is Tom, and I've got a great man with me, Dunbar Snackbar, Jeff, as I know him, Dunbar Snackbar as you know him, and this is the baseball talk show, which we have decided to create together for various reasons. A baseball talk show where an unlikely duo of two people, a Brit and a Yank, come together and talk about the sport of baseball, which we hope you can all enjoy with us, because I know it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to let Jeff introduce himself.
Yeah, hey everybody, what's up? You guys know me as Dunbar, but hey, if Tom calls me Jeff, same person. But yeah, I'm very excited to be doing this with Tom. I know a lot of you were wanting me to go ahead and bring back Let's Talk Baseball. So I was thinking, yeah, I think I can go ahead and I can do that. And then I was talking to Tom, and he had an idea similar to it as well. So we just figure, hey, why don't we sit down and make up this show? So to kind of let you guys know a little bit about me, most of you probably already know me if you're watching this on my channel, but I've been a big baseball fan all of my life. Favorite baseball team is the Oakland A's. Been that way since 2001, and that all got solidified in 2002. So if you guys know Moneyball, everything that happened with that, that's really where I became an A's fan. But big baseball fan, excited to talk baseball with you, with Tom, and to answer you guys' questions and things like that. Tom, it's all you.
So, if you're watching this on my channel, you'll already know me, and I know a lot of you already do know Jeff through my channel, and most of you probably know me on Jeff's channel. Some of you may. If you don't know me, I'm a Brit, which is kind of unlikely. You might not think that, I would be watching baseball. But I've been a baseball fan for not a long time as Jeff. I obviously grew up in England, so I am a soccer fan. To most of you Americans, or football if you're English. And back in 2007, I became a Cubs fan because I was pestered into watching baseball by a friend. And so glad he did, and I have not looked back. And I'll support the Cubs through and through, even though they suck. But it's the Cubs' year this year, and like I say, I'm really glad that me and Jeff can do this, because it's going to be able to give you guys different perspectives. Because obviously I'm not as well baseball educated as Jeff, but I keep up to date with all the news. I watch all the games, and it's really good that we can actually talk about this. Like I say, it's an unlikely duo, and I think it'll be some fun.
Oh, absolutely, it's going to be a blast, and we want to make sure that we tie you, the viewers, into this as well. So please feel free to go ahead and comment with questions and things like that, because if we go ahead and we see questions and stuff like that we love, we're going to discuss it here on this show. So we want you to be included in this as much as Tom and I are. So I'm excited to see what you guys have to say. Yeah,
exactly. Hearing your guys' topics will be really awesome. Some things that we can discuss, because obviously there's only so much you can talk about for so long, sport, this, that, and the other. So when we can get feedback and stuff from you guys, that's going to really help us a lot. So much appreciated if you do want to comment. If you just want to listen, we hope you enjoy. And we're going to probably start by talking about, we are in spring training now. Like, how do you think it's going so far for you, Jeff?
Well, I love spring training. I mean, I know when you go ahead and you take a look at the results and the standings and everything like that, it really doesn't mean too much at the end of the day, because once the beginning of the season starts, everybody's back down to 0 wins and 0 losses. But what interests me about spring training the most is I think that the standings and the results are really a good reflection of the health of the organization as a whole. Because whenever you're watching spring training, I know I tweeted this out, but it's kind of torture a little bit, because you've got prospects and people who you don't really know that well playing in these games, and then you don't really even see the star players play every single game as well. So it's kind of torture, because it's still not like regular season. But if you're bringing in prospects and things like that on a regular basis, and you're competing against other teams who have prospects in as well, like I mentioned, I think it really goes to show the health of the organization. And I've been absolutely surprised. I mean, at the time we did this recording, Kansas City is without a loss at this point, which I think it's really cool to see Kansas City on top. I remember last year the A's were up there for a long, long time. I was excited about that, and hey, look how they did at the end of the year. So seeing Kansas City at the top kind of makes me wonder exactly how competitive the AL Central is going to be with them up top. And like I mentioned, I know Kansas City's got some great prospects as well. But, just taking a look at things, I mean, that's kind of how it's been. I'm glad, though, that we've got spring training back and I get a chance to watch baseball. But what about you, Tom?
No, I think spring training for me it's really fun, because I don't know, like you say, it's all about these prospects. It's the futuristic aspect. It's that the sport has longevity. The season may end and your team may be wherever, but next season you have that prospect, that kid that you saw last season, the kid with talent, and you'll get to see him play a full season this season. You know, being a Cubs fan, Brett Jackson in centre field, who has been called up and seems that he's going to have a more important role this season. The same thing with Josh Fitters, hopefully at third base, because I don't believe Ian Stewart is the long-term guy for third base for the Cubs. But it's also nice to see the Cubs. I'm going to be talking about the Cubs a lot, but it's nice to see the Cubs where they are at the moment. They're not dead bottom, is what I'm more happy about. And seeing them above people like Texas, Cincinnati, the Angels. Now that is something that I can't get my head around at all, because obviously it won't be like that during the regular season. But these are the things that pre-season do for you. You know, they get you excited, and like you say, it's the prospects more than anything. It is the future of the sport, and it's the fact that, you know, one day your team might have the chance to go on and win the World Series. Obviously, it's the Cubs year anyway, so that doesn't really matter. But no, I think so far I've seen quite a few games, and it's really interesting. I've been quite surprised seeing like where Houston have ended up as well.
Mm-hmm.
I expected them to just be dead bottom straight off the mark, but being above the Tigers, the Braves, the Cardinals, the Yankees, Toronto for one. No one expected them. I know they're trying out a lot of prospects themselves, but the first game of the preseason that they played, they put out a full squad and they got beat. So that was a bit crazy. And I had to take a swig of water because my throat is really dry.
You're all right.
I can't talk for long amounts of time when I have a cold.
But, I mean, yeah, it's really interesting to see, like, just as I'm looking at the standings right now, it's like a lot of teams that you've seen lately have gone ahead and just purchased a lot of people to win right now. They tend to be at the bottom of the standings. I mean, it kind of looks that way. You know, you got the Rangers and the Angels down there. Cincinnati, not so much. Same thing with Pittsburgh and the Mets. But, you know, you look at these teams at the top who haven't been doing too well lately, the Royals, the Mariners, and then in the Grapefruit League, you got the Orioles, Tampa Bay, who is the ideal small market team, so they always have great prospects.
I absolutely love seeing Tampa Bay play. It's so much fun.
I still can't get over it. Kansas City 9-0, Seattle 10-1.
I know,
That's
right?
Awesome.
It is unbelievable.
Have you gotten a chance to watch any of their games yet?
Seattle, I was watching Seattle earlier. I forget who they played. I don't know if I can check. But I'm pretty sure they were playing earlier. And I know, like I say, it's this whole idea of just playing prospects. But still, to be 10-1 it takes some doing.
Mm-hmm.
No, even if it is pre-season. But then again, seeing the Twins up there as well in Grapefruit League, that's really nice to see.
Man, I miss spring training. I think I might actually go next year.
I think you should. I mean, I wish I could go to baseball games in general, but...
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, availability is something that I don't have, but luckily I can be watching them this season through some miracle given unto me. But yeah, those are our thoughts for pre-season. Now, where I know this was one thing that we did kind of get asked to talk about by someone who knew about this show that was coming, knew that this show was coming, should I say, and that is, where do we think that teams are going to end up at the end of the season?
Gosh, it's so early to talk about that, though. I know when I did my prediction video last year, I did it in March, and gosh, it was way too early. It didn't turn out quite the way that I would have expected it to, but I guess that's a really, really good thing, because baseball is one of those sports you do not want to be predictable.
No, definitely not.
So, I guess we can make that a whole episode unto itself, where we talk about where we think standings will be at the end and stuff like that, but I mean, already there's a lot of things that I'm looking forward to kind of see how it goes. And the biggest thing for me right now, the biggest question mark I should say I have, is with the Toronto Blue Jays. Because, you know, they get all of these players from the Marlins, yeah. And, I mean, last year I was like, I don't think the Marlins are going to do that great. And I was kind of going against everybody's, like, what they were thinking, you know. Everybody was saying the Marlins are going to be great. You know, they're going to be up there in the NL East and everything. And obviously that didn't happen because these players didn't mesh well. And I don't think they had great leadership. So you take a lot of these players who struggled with the Marlins, and then you go ahead and you transplant them over to Toronto. And I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to go. Things are going to be a lot different because, Tom, if I ask you, like, you know, who's the team leader, you know, by way of player on the Toronto Blue Jays, who would you say?
I'm saying R.A. Dickey is going to be a big figure for them.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, in terms of pitching. I think that's probably one of the best trades. Picking up R.A. Dickey, He is a big piece for them. But without a doubt, it's Jose Bautista.
Oh, for sure. So I don't know if you'd be on board with me saying this, but with the Marlins, when they went ahead and they changed everything about their team, it was almost like that they didn't really have a team leader. I mean, you could probably pick out, Hanley Ramirez or somebody like that and say, they were the team leader. But I think with the Blue Jays, you've got somebody who can step up and be like, look, here's what your guys' role is. Here's what you're supposed to do. And I think under a better manager than what you saw in Miami, I think that things are going to go well for the Blue Jays, but I do have my doubts about how things are going to go for them. So I don't know if that's just me with my concerns, but...
I completely agree with you when you say that they have a key player, the player that drives them a lot of the time. You can list any team. Every team has that player. Apart from the Yankees, they have an array. Except they don't seem to gel together at the moment. But once again, that's a different topic within itself. But you can name a few quite easily. Longoria for the Rays. I've now lost every name that I could think of. Kemp for the Dodgers, kind of thing. Posey for the Giants. Soriano and Castro, for the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Braun for the Brewers. They do have these things, and it does seem that Miami fell apart for that reason. Now, once again, you put too many faces in one team. It kind of, Batista will still be that team leader, that face of Toronto. But is he going to kind of be overshadowed, and will that break down kind of the team spirit almost?
I sure hope not. I really love Jose Batista. I think he's a tremendous player and a great human being, too. I think he definitely has what it takes to make some of these personalities gel together. I was under the impression that Ozzie Guillen was going to do it in Miami, and that didn't happen. His personality in and of itself ended up kind of hurting the team more than helping out. But I don't know. It's kind of a coin toss for me on how the Blue Jays are going to do. But, the American League East always tends to be a pretty crazy division. So anything can happen, and I'm kind of prepared for that.
I would like to see Toronto do well. I really would.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of if they've made big trades anyway, I would still like to see them do well.
Mm-hmm.
I also hope Boston do a lot better this year.
Yeah.
I really do. That was tough. That must have been tough for them last season.
There's really no team I want to see do bad, though.
Well, the White Sox.
How do you really feel?
Well, I don't, if the White Sox come dead bottom, I won't shed a tear.
Yeah. I bet not.
No, not at all. No offense to any of you White Sox fans.
You probably already made people mad at it.
Yeah, I've probably lost a few subscribers. Also, that also reminded me, if you guys want to leave your teams, that'd just be cool, just to see what everyone kind of, who everyone supports. That's just kind of an interesting thing for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Being British. With some tea, some crumpets. What other topics did we have? I've completely forgotten.
That was basically all we wanted to do on this one, because this is like our pilot episode. So this is kind of more for us to get things together, find out the logistics of all this, and give you guys an opportunity, of course, to go ahead and ask your questions of us on what you would like us to talk about. Because Tom and I, we can sit here, we could put together, ideas and stuff like that all day. But honestly, we want your guys' input in here as well. So make sure you comment on down below, I guess I should say, on any questions that you have from us. And gosh, weren't we going to have them choose what this was actually going to be called anyway?
Yeah, we would like you guys to kind of input a name for the show, and I think if we get enough, maybe the highest rated name, so thumbs up your comments and stuff like that, maybe we could do it like that, or maybe pool a few names together and me and Jeff will choose between the two. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Mine will probably, if you're watching this on my channel, mine will probably be called In the Bullpen, which was a name I had originally for the show, like Jeff has Let's Talk Baseball. I had In the Bullpen. So that's what you'll probably see for now. But for the episode 2, this being just the pilot episode, if you guys actually like this, we'll carry it on. I suppose if you don't like this, well, who knows? But it's completely up to you for the name. We're going to leave this one down to you as much as we possibly can. So leave us some topics, a possible name. Tell me your team, because that'd be cool to hear from you guys. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, absolutely. So subscribe to either Tom or I, whoever's channel you're watching this on, because we always appreciate that. And, comment below, favorite if you like this. But we'll see you guys next week. We're going to make this a weekly occurrence. So thanks again for watching, you guys.
Thank you very much, and we will see you in episode 2.